Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Plastic Arts Podcast, the show where we break down the video game news of the week. My name's Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, indie game dev extraordinaire, Gavin Jones.
Howdy.
Gavin, I was going to go with whitest man on earth or something like that.
We can do that now. I think that we have.
I want to celebrate your whiteness. I'm not trying to, throw you under the bus.
It's white Pride Month? No, can't use that.
You should go out in the streets and just yell out how proud you are.
We've gone down a dark route very quickly.
Yeah, it's two steps away from Nazis, basically.
Yeah. Jesus.
Gavin, you had a cool week.
CyberPunk. What do we?
There's some news.
It's coming to. Well, why wouldn't it?
Yeah, right. So where there's a bunch of games news. Did you play anything over the weekend? Yeah, you had a busy weekend. Right?
Not this weekend, but after our last cast, I continued to binge Prey.
Oh, okay. How far are you on that? Or how much further are you?
I have no idea. I want to say I'm halfway through the game right now.
Gotcha.
I'm starting to get to the point where I'm actually a threat, which makes me feel good.
Yeah.
But I've also been introduced to, like, occasionally you'll just walk into a room and there's like a 2-story ape.
Okay.
Made of cloud. Like, think like a small version of like the
dream.
thing from Stranger Things.
Oh, gotcha.
And it'll dopily run my ass over and one shot me. So it's like the game is like, oh, you think you're getting stronger, but we can check you at any time.
That's always a good balance when they can match that. So you feel better, but then the level of difficulty rises to match that.
So I'll be curious to come back and play it because right before I stopped playing last time, I unlocked the perks to allow me to upgrade my guns further.
Okay.
Because really, it's weird. You can only initially, until you unlock it, you can only put 1 point in any stat on your gun.
Oh.
So I just went from 1 point in my shotgun to like 7, so I doubled its damage.
Dang.
And occasionally, I'm going to do an additional 50% damage.
Like a random.
Yeah.
thing.
So on occasion, I'm going to be doing double to triple the damage I was previously doing.
Nice.
And I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. So this is going to be weird going back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. I played some Minecraft and
getting ready for that news.
Well, there was like RTX enabled on I forget what that is, like the light ray thing.
It's light rays. I mean, you're correct when you say light rays. What's the proper term though?
I forget. Light gun, light scan.
It's light guns. You
Light
got the
gun
zapper.
Yeah.
The dog is holding up 2 ducks. Like.
Well, I read that news. Like, that's cool. I have no way of playing that. Like, I have a PC that could ever do that. So I don't think it's Xbox
if you get
One.
the next Xbox and PlayStation, you will.
Cool. I just have to wait 2 years for that to happen. Then I'm ready to go. I played like 2 matches of the Apex Legends single player mode or the solo mode. And it was cool. I'm terrible at that game.
Yeah.
The stuff, now that I'm so far removed from when it first launched, there's so many new things. It's just like way over my head.
Is the dragon still in it?
There's these weird monster dinosaurs that kind of walk around.
In the background?
They're all over the map, but they're so huge you can't land on them. You can't interact with them. But they're, I think, what's left over from the dragon thing that happened. But they're just kind of like, almost like cows grazing. They're just around, and you just exist around them.
Oh, interesting. I did get to play... not a video game, but I got to play a board game this weekend. I was super excited about. I finally got to play Pandemic.
I've seen that box. I've seen that area, or that game. But what is it?
It's basically like the world is being overtaken by these outbreaks, these diseases.
Okay.
And you have to cure all 4 of them, and then you win. And it's really cool.
Does it have a video game also, or like a PC game? I feel like I've seen people put up screenshots.
So I think you're making having the same confusion as somebody else that was there, because it has an almost identical art style to Plague Inc.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, it shows you like the people you've lost and that kind of thing.
Right, which is funny because they're literally the opposites of each other. Okay. Whereas Plague Inc., you're trying to evolve. It's really cool. I watched people play co-op Plague Inc., where they each had their own disease, and they're trying to like take over the world, and basically the goal is to kill everyone. And it was pretty unique how, because they had 2 different diseases, they're treated differently. Yeah. One guy was just like, all right, it's not lethal, and he's infecting, The other guy's, there's a country that's about to cure his disease, and he goes, lethal, and he just takes out that country that was going to cure it.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it was neat.
And so the board game is the opposite, where you're trying to cure or battle these diseases that happen. Okay.
Yeah, traveling around the world, trying to do research and cure.
Can you pull cards that kind of change the disease on the fly? Like, is it evolving or changing, or you're stuck with one disease and you can?
No, well, there's 4 diseases, but the diseases are really, I mean, they're just colors. They don't have too much of a personality. That would be interesting if they did.
Right. So just establish like bird flu or SARS or something like that. Like there's
right. It's basically here's South America / a little bit of North America's disease. Here's North America and Europe's disease. Here's the Middle East, and then here's Australasia.
Gotcha. But it was fun.
God, I had a blast.
Really?
I've been told forever that it's fun, and it was super fun. The rules were explained mega quick. We just had a blast.
That's always that tells me that it's just it's something I want to jump into. When you can explain the rules quickly,
right?
That's always the biggest hurdle with board games.
I mean, one of these days we gotta get you on the just trying out, sticking a toe in the water.
Play Zombieland, the board game. Maybe that's my way in.
Exactly.
Nice. Yeah, I'll try it. I mean, I'm down. I feel like to make those games fun, you have to involve alcohol. But I don't know, were you guys drinking when you played this, or?
Very lightly because it was right before the wedding.
Gotcha.
So
okay. Well, Gavin had a bunch of video game news.
So much fucking news.
We'll go with just what's been recent.
That's a cool one. I didn't know they weren't.
Right. That was a lot of people saying that. So it's Sony finally acquires the Spider-Man PS4 dev Insomniac Games. So they weren't a first party. Now they are. If you remember, they made Sunset Overdrive, which was an Xbox exclusive. And
that was an Xbox exclusive?
Yeah. Now it's finally on PC. Like, I think a couple months ago they announced it on PC.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. I kind of wanted to play it.
It's cool.
It's one of those ones where, like, whenever I watch a video review for it, like, people, they talk about it fondly and the mechanics, but at the same time, they still don't sound excited about it. Like, we're just listing off, like, here's a zany thing you can do with another zany thing that you can do while doing this other zany thing. That's true. I'm like, all right, we fucking get it. You're cool.
Right. Yeah, they're edgy. And yeah, I get that vibe a lot. Like, I played it. I didn't finish it, though. But there was a lot of cool concepts, and they really got the movement down. It was fun. Yeah. I just didn't know if there was a lot of meat on the bone with that one. But playing that, you can definitely tell where they jumped to Spider-Man on PS4.
Oh, it's like, sure.
Yeah, they just totally scaled up the movement. They got that down. And but yeah, so they're finally a first party with Sony.
I think maybe that was my problem with Sunset Overdrive. It's really it harkens to that meme or that scene from 30 Rock with the "Hello, fellow kids." That was the game.
I see. Gotcha. Yeah, too many like references and memes and stuff within it.
Yeah, gonna be too hip, too punk.
Gotcha. Yeah, so they weren't already first party, now they are. So that's pretty awesome. So Insomniac will become the 14th studio in Sony's lineup. I was looking up.
That's all?
Yeah, so they have 14 first party studios. They haven't acquired a studio in a while. So the last one was actually this VR studio in 2015. But otherwise they haven't. They've shut down some. There's like Gorilla Cambridge. There's the Drive Club Debs. But this is the last one that they've acquired.
Yeah, like Microsoft dwarfing that on like an annual basis now. Yeah,
but although Microsoft had a while where they weren't doing that, and now they're trying to make
Absolutely.
up that ground. But yeah, so I mean, I think that secures ever seeing like Spider-Man on any other console, right?
Right.
Because what's weird is that the other Marvel video game, like in their Marvel tagline video game, is the Avengers one, and that one's cross-platform. So it's weird that this one.
Who's the dev?
So it's something Diamond Devolver. No, they're the Tomb Raider devs. Crystal Dynamics. There we go.
Oh,
they're the ones that
right. But that's published by the Final Fantasy people, Square Enix.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I just find it weird that that's allowed to be console, cross console, but they're really letting Insomniac or Sony rather, own that whole series, because I highly doubt it's going to go anywhere else now.
Speaking of cross console, do you have the PUBG is now?
I do, yeah.
Okay,
let's go into that. There's really no in particular order. So Gamescom is happening now, right? Today was the first day. Woo. So there's a bunch of news and stuff announced. So it's as you're referring to. So crossplay is announced for PUBG between Xbox One and PS4. That's pretty dope.
That's a big get.
Yeah, and so there's a series of big gets lately where it seems like the next gen, that's going to be the norm, right? It has to be where there's enough push on both sides that they have to support it now.
I truly hope so. Like that's what I was really. I think we talked about this before, where like that can be the next gen where it doesn't matter. Your load time is 0.
Right.
All of them have stupid God ray light gun.
hardware wise, they're like similar enough where they can kind of cross support everything.
It's just who's got the best games.
Yep.
And if they have crossplay, that'll be delightful.
Yep. Really, I feel like these companies are realizing if you remove these hurdles, you get people playing longer, and they're going to spend more time in your game, and they're going to buy more stuff. All these games are going to have little trinkets and and stuff you can upgrade and buy, and that's the key. So if you keep people in this world, they're buying stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Well, and the other thing too, that was my kind of pitch for next gen is, so if we're doing solid state hard drives, so load times are non-existent.
Yeah.
So if we have crossplay, then queue times are now non-existent.
Interesting.
So
why is that?
Why? Because it's a bigger player pool. If you're trying to, for example, PUBG, or it's still impressive that the queue times in PUBG and Fortnite are as low as they are.
Sure.
When you're playing 100-man matches.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
That's true. They have to wait for that lobby to fill up, and that's a lot of people. Yeah.
Right. So
think about that.
Now with this, you've doubled your audience.
Right.
It's instant.
Yeah. No, that's actually really cool. I didn't think about that.
Although I've never, I haven't played Fortnite in forever. I'm sure those queue times are like almost non-existent.
They're pretty short. So I'll play with my nephew every week or so, and it's maybe a minute of waiting between like you end and then you start the next match.
Exactly.
So with PUBG, they're shooting for September. So it looks like late September for the Xbox One, PS4 crossplay.
It's a big deal.
And cross-platform play with PC is apparently not included.
I wouldn't do that for that game. Everyone's going to get destroyed.
Yeah, I like the idea of letting people decide, or showing when a player has a PC icon. I don't know. Yeah, you're right, because it really just kind of messes everything up when they
like you can have a mode where you're like, all right, let people play PS4, Xbox, but also have the optional mode of, all right, I want to play with my buddy on PC.
Right.
Now I'm thrown in with all these assholes
that
are 360 no-scoping my ass.
Yep, and they just see you directly and they just go towards that console player now. Yeah.
I can see that man turning at a consistent speed.
So we got PUBG. There's a lot of new footage on some of the games that were announced a while ago. So one of them,
I don't remember this being a thing.
Yeah, it was shown quickly. I want to say at one of the last PlayStation, their little like online updates they were doing a little while back.
Oh, okay.
So they just showed off the gameplay or the story trailer, and now there's a little bit of gameplay with this Predator hunting ground.
As long as you get to play a multiplayer mode where one person is the predator and everyone else is trying to kill him.
That's what it is.
That's literally all I want.
I think that's all it is. And actually I'm not interested in that. So
really?
I was hoping for some kind of single player story based thing with the predator.
Oh, okay.
It's not that. So it's a 4v1 competitive multiplayer game. So they showed off, the story trailer shows off a little bit of gameplay here. So, and it looks like a SOCOM kind of a vibe to it. And then it looks like very similar to, was it Evolve?
So it's modern day then. It's not.
Yeah, it's modern day. They're all advanced
I wish it were old timey. Like, right. I want to be the guy that dies like firing his massive machine gun that for some reason he can support and fire with one arm.
Yeah.
Even Arnold's over there looking like, damn dude, like let's keep it realistic here for a second.
Yeah, no, you're right. So it looks like, either with the lobby you're just randomly thrown in as the human or as the predator.
So have you played any of the... Yeah, I am getting a strong Evolve vibe. Have you played any of the... I just thought of a reason why I like this more. Any of those asymmetrical games where it's a group versus one person, like Dead by Daylight.
I played the Jason one.
Friday the 13th, which is supposed to be very fun. I hear that's getting a sequel?
Is it? Okay, I'll look that up.
So everyone's
I feel like they would just keep supporting the main game, but maybe they will do a full-fledged sequel.
Well, the main game's also
it's super wonky.
Somewhat broken.
Yeah, so still. Do they make a new engine, or they just build on that wonkiness? Like, I wonder.
I don't know. Did those stairs move?
Let's see. So, interesting. So we're watching the trailer. Maybe it's destructible environments somewhat. So what they're shooting? I think just
it
the
just looks like it. Yeah.
See, I'm not. This could be fun. I'm just not at face value interested in this, but because there's a lot of games like this.
So there's this amazing. I like the invisible nature of it, and the reason being there was this game that I absolutely adored. We played at LAN parties called The Hidden.
Okay.
And The Hidden was a Half-Life 2 mod that was fantastically done. Like,
gotcha.
all new models and stuff. And so it was like a team of however many people, let's say like 10 versus one guy.
Okay.
Probably not as high as 10, but we'll say like six tactical Marines. Everyone had a different role, different loadout. And it was all against the Hidden. And the Hidden, he's always invisible.
Oh, okay.
And he has a knife and a little bit of superpowers.
Gotcha.
Aside
Speed
from being
or
invisible.
okay.
Right. He's speed. He can jump really high. And not only do you have to kill someone, but you can gain more powerful if you like devour their essence.
Okay.
So you're playing. It was just so fun to be creepy to people.
Gotcha.
So you'd sneak up right behind them and press the whisper something creepy in their ear button. So when you're that person, you turn around and you're firing like crazy because he's all the way invisible. No little ripple effect.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
Interesting.
And you're just trying to find something. And it was so. Oh no, there was a teeny bit of a ripple, but it was so minuscule.
Gotcha.
And it'd be fun because there'd be like a vent with steam coming up that was all ripply, so you'd like hide out in the vent.
That's awesome.
God, it was such a good game. It was so fun. So I like the invisible aspect of it.
Yeah.
That adds a lot of fun.
This could be just messing with your other teammates or people you're playing against. It could be cool.
Yeah.
But I was hoping for something more like single player.
Sure.
Just because I think it could be cool that way as well.
But do you play the Predator in single player? Because how do you make a game out of one enemy that's like you're not going to kill until the end? Like
that's true. I guess he's always messing with your team. Yeah, I didn't really think beyond like I want a single player experience. But maybe there's that movie that they've done with, it was called Predators, and you kind of are fighting other predators. So it's not just one. So they kind of lead up to like the main big baddie predator, and he had other little like dogs. Is that
the one with
cronies.
Topher Grace?
Yes.
God, that was creepy.
I liked that movie. Actually, I've watched it and it holds up.
It was good. I just think I think Topher Grace.
He was in it. I wouldn't say he's like starring Topher Grace.
I think Topher Grace was really lame until he suddenly wasn't.
Yeah, with the twist on his character.
It's like, oh God, no.
I thought Adrian Brody was cool.
Who?
Adrian Brody. He's the main dude. He's the guy with the nose. Adrian Brody.
My nose brother.
Yeah. And he's like jacked in this movie. It's pretty crazy. But I think in honor of the lineage with these movies, all the dudes are super jacked.
So quick moment on noses. So so when I was at this wedding, they did a photo booth.
Yeah.
And one of the objects was a magnifying glass.
Okay.
And I was trying to pose it so my eye would be huge as I'm like inspecting this object.
Yeah.
And it turned out from the angle, all it did was like multiply my nose by like 3 times. The second we saw the shot, everyone, like this crowd of all my family is just busting out laughing.
Yeah.
You could have magnified any body part, and you got that one.
Oh, God. I need to see that. You got to send me that picture. All right. Yep. We got Predator, Hunting Grounds, just some actual gameplay. No release date on that one, I'm pretty sure, yet.
I doubt it's that far out. Like how hard it already looks mostly done.
Right. So maybe early next year, I would say.
Yeah. I hope it's $30. I don't want to pay $60 for
I think it's a good mentality to offer it for as cheap as you can. Yeah. Because I don't know what there is beyond that one mode. This one I think is right up your alley. So Risk of Rain 2 was announced for a Switch. It's pretty dope.
Big good.
Yep. Now, I want to say, did Nintendo actually do a Treehouse or an announcement, or this was part of Gamescom?
Yeah, they did a Nintendo Indies thing.
Gotcha. So I know that there were a bunch were announced, but I didn't catch what those were.
So I'm a little bit worried with this that it's going to lag the system, I'm pretty sure. Even as like they've simplified the visuals so that it can run on almost a toaster basically, but at the same time, that's what a Switch is.
I see.
So I'm worried about it getting
suffer.
bogged down and slowing down during an intense gameplay sessions. But I'm also curious as well. So it's in early access on Steam.
Yep.
So are we going to have to wait until full release to get it on Switch? I get the feeling that we are.
Oh, interesting.
Which is fine.
Which doesn't have any kind of early access program, right?
I think we have 9 months left of early access on their roadmap, I believe.
Okay. That gives them time to, in turn, also be developing the Switch version and get the kinks out for that one to be usable.
Well, it's being made on Unity, so it's going to take them all of 2 seconds to.
They flip one switch.
They're basically flipping the Switch.
Now, you mentioned you're worried about the performance on the Switch. There was some update on The Witcher 3 for Switch, the Switch mode. Okay. So in this particular article, so
they
IGN
took out the trees.
Right, no trees. So an IGN writer here, John Ryan, got to spend some time playing the actual game, and apparently the impressions were pretty good. He spent 90 minutes. This is John Ryan. Spent 90 minutes playing The Witcher on Switch, and apparently it's not the best way. The Switcher 3. They need to call it that. The Switcher.
It's gonna be the new like 64. Remember back when they did that for
Mario Switcher Edition. So it apparently runs at 540p on the game, but holds a 24 to 25 frames per second.
540p. What the fuck even resolution is that?
I think a lot of their handheld mode games do switch to a resolution similar to that. Sometimes it goes 720.
That's just a weird.
Yeah, that is a weird resolution. But as far as the fact that they can get this to run and it, runs okay on the Switch, gives me hope that stuff like Risk of Rain and other ports will be doing fine for the moment. Eventually, it will reach a point where it can't, continue to support on that hardware anymore. But
right,
yeah. But that just reminded me of them. Oh, they also gave out a release date, which I do not have ready, but it does exist. It's like it's this year for sure. It's October 15th, 2019.
Did you see the mod for Witcher on PC that makes him into Henry Cavill?
Yeah. I just saw a screenshot of that. It's almost like they morph them both together, right? It's not just Henry Cavill one for one, right? I feel like
it's probably hard to get it exactly like.
Gotcha. Yeah. Which I'm really stoked for that Netflix show. I know we talked about it already. Like,
I hope it's good.
Yeah, I watched a scene. There's a YouTube series with these guys that do special effects for movies, but also they do like stunt work. They'll break down various stunt scenes in movies, and they broke down the last Mission Impossible where Henry Cavill's in it, and he like shotgun loads his arms. You know that gif that's been shared. Yeah, so they break down that scene, and it just looks super dope. And the more I see Henry Cavill, I'm just more jacked for that Netflix show.
I need to actually I know the Mission Impossible movies have been good again for a while now. Yeah. But I have just not caught up on those.
I have not either. Seeing them break down this last scene looked really cool to where I'm like, I think I'll give the newer one a go.
Yeah.
But the other ones I could kind of
I think the plot continues, so I think you have to start.
I'm fine.
I don't think you have to start after. I want to say you have to start on 4.
Maybe.
But
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I think I'm good, Gavin. Let's get some popcorn. Now, they showed off, we talked about Blair Witch. They actually showed off gameplay.
Nope. All right, let's watch.
Okay. Well, there's a simple little video of the kind of environment. So let's play this. So I just like the fact that they're showing it because we talked about how it's getting super close to the release and there's nothing coming out.
Yeah.
So now at Gamescom, they showed off a bunch.
It is kind of strange with it, the fact that, that's essentially, it's kind of, no, this is a bit more supernatural than the... Well, that's not true.
They just don't show much in the actual movie, but I think they're showing stuff in this game as far as supernatural. Creepy. Yeah, and there's IGN had a bunch of their reviewers play the game too, and apparently it looks super scary, but the visuals look cool. I was just kind of worried about this game.
I like the fact that the woods look like woods.
Yeah,
those are hard to render.
I imagine. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, so that's hard to do.
You can't fake very much.
Gotcha. Yeah, and it looks creepy. I'm sure I won't play this, but
yeah,
I like that it exists, and they're able to. It wasn't gonna be an issue, getting close to this release with no footage coming out. I wonder if that's a good tactic too. So maybe there wasn't a lot of buzz for this game if they announced it and showed off a bunch early. But now that it's close to release, they're showing off gameplay. They have their cool one-on-one. You see these YouTubers play it and get scared.
Right, yeah.
Maybe that's a good release to get right close to that actual release and have all this footage to go with it.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that? There was that thing where people are going out to play the new Resident Evil game. Did that happen?
It's happening now or soon, but I don't think we'll see this until they're ready to show it off. But yeah, the invites have gone out, and I don't think there's anything to show yet.
The DMs have been slid into.
Right. Yeah, so I don't think there's any actual footage or interpretations of what happened yet. But yep, that is happening. Huh? So let's see what else as far as Gamescom goes. I think this is probably the biggest one that came out of there. So there's some more footage and just news about Death Stranding.
A new celebrity. Who is it?
So it's your boy from I forget the name of it. It's Jeff Keighley. He's actually in the game. He does the video game awards.
I'm aware.
Gotcha. Okay.
Kojima, you're just inviting your friends.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Now, if we can get the what was it? The Oscars guy in there,
then we will have a party. Yeah, for sure. But that's when Jeff Keighley makes his own game. Then that guy's in there.
Yeah.
But I loved seeing there's a little trailer that they showed some gameplay, and they showed Jeff Keighley's character. It's not like a prominent role, but it's something that will keep popping up. But I just like that he's in there because Jeff Keighley's been just super on board with Kojima for a while. Like when he had that whole falling out with Konami, like he's been just like his day one, for a while. So I like to see that he's been able to put him in the game and kind of give that back to him. But they showed off some footage. I won't play it for you, but I watched it. And I fully know less now of the game. So I think you can watch all these trailers and you're totally fine.
I hear you can pee.
You can pee, yeah. And apparently it's like a game mechanic. You can use it as a weapon. When you use it in different parts of the environment, stuff will grow and you can use that stuff.
This is the most Kojima thing.
Right.
It'd be more Kojima if it makes boobs. Just cleavage.
We haven't seen the game yet, so maybe.
All right.
They showed off in the gameplay just like newer stuff with traversing the world, your infinite ladder that you can use. But
infinite ladder?
It looks like an infinite ladder. So it's any kind of, when you find a spot, you have this ladder that just shoots up. And I don't see an end to it. It's just as long as you need to go, it goes that distance and then you use it.
I'm just picturing, like, to me, this sounds like something out of a Miyazaki film.
Interesting.
Like I just picture the creature from My Neighbor Totoro just
right.
Ooh, ooh.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him for this.
And then it flies up because it doesn't need a ladder.
Yeah, it's like I mean, we could have that Metal Gear Solid thing with you put the balloon on the thing and it just takes it off. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah.
I hope they make a reference to that. That'd be hilarious.
Well, it's funny watching the gameplay. I feel like the DNA of the last Metal Gear Solid is definitely here with the open world environment and stuff. Like there's a lot of calling back to that.
Right.
But
could it feel like that because it's his same style?
I think so. I think that's maybe what it is, but he's also, I think it's a point that he's going back to that open world aesthetic and using that same kind of mechanic. But I don't know if you're sneaking as much or that kind of thing, but there's, as far as he seemed to have tapped a vein with unlocking all these options with the last Metal Gear.
Right.
So I think he really wants to do that with this one as well.
Let's see.
But there was a cool mechanic with the baby. So they showed off you
throw it like a grenade.
Not quite.
Pull out pull the cord.
That might upset some people, Gavin. But he basically upsets the baby doing something like tripping, and falling. And so the baby's upset, and so he has to kind of rock it back to sleep. And it was actually super cute. So I like that whole idea of you having to manage the baby because it's right on you the whole time. But there's times where the baby's kind of singing lightly, and it's just like a whole character on its own, almost like a companion, but not really. It's really neat how they're going to do it.
This is basically this is the new Yoshi's Island, and if you get hit, the baby's going to go into a bubble and cry until you get it back.
You know what? There was the stuff that happens in that trailer is very reminiscent of that. So yeah. But watch it if you want to. But it's everything that they show. I know less, but I'm still on board for the game. Like it's something that's super unique for his kind of games, where it's just they'll show you stuff, but you still have no idea what's going on.
I'm very curious to how long this game is going to be.
I wonder. There's times where in this last gameplay, he shows off, or the character shows off the map, and it looks like they're going to try and replicate all of the United States because you can go from one side to the other. But I don't know. It's going to be limited for sure. But it's interesting how they're going to do that because you can traverse what looks like the entire United States.
I imagine it being a bit like The Crew, where it was like a compressed.
Yep. And so far, I think it's on purpose, but they're only showing these kind of Icelandic kind of, parts of the, as far as like environments, with the river, the weird grass and stuff. Like, I think they're showing that on purpose selectively, but they're going to open that up and show the other environments you'll encounter. But sure. So I'm still on board. No news on the PC thing. So last week, a bunch of users noticed that like on the PlayStation 4 page, they removed that whole exclusive tagline with Death Stranding. So I don't know if that means it's coming to PC. I'm for sure it's not coming to Xbox, right? But what does that mean? Who knows? People were thinking they're going to announce that. But
speaking of exclusives, did you hear about Orcs Must Die? Was sort of exclusive.
Gotcha. Now I have that here.
Use some poor wording. Apparently, I haven't seen the trailer.
I think it was showing off with Stadia, right?
Yeah. I was told that they basically said it was a Stadia exclusive. and it's not.
Gotcha.
It's just limited time.
God damn it! I had that somewhere, but
I take it we're going to be covering
news.
some good old Gears news.
Oh, here it is. Yeah. So Orcs Must Die. Yeah. So this is they're not breaking down the issue that you brought up, but there's a planned Stadia release for Orcs Must Die.
It's
3? Timed. Okay. So it'll be exclusive for Stadia. They don't mention the time thing, but that must be what you're talking about.
Have you played the trailer at all? Like,
no.
Is there like, so if you're using Stadia or like a next gen console, like I want a bajillion and one orcs.
Gotcha.
Or why make another Orcs Must Die game?
I see. I've never played any of them in the series, so.
They're fun. It's tower defense, but also you get to shoot shit.
Gotcha.
And it's fun when you play with your buddies.
I get a Plants vs. Zombies vibe to this, but I'm not sure how similar.
Not really.
Gotcha. Maybe just the art style.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I don't know if they're promoting, more orcs on screen or something, but...
Well, this doesn't even look better than the last one. Why is this a game?
I don't know.
Well, there's more orcs, so that's cool.
Sure. And they're kind of summoning different environment stuff. You can mess with the orcs.
I want so many more orcs.
Gotcha.
This is the last game.
It might be. Yeah, I don't know who's actually developing this or publishing this, but yeah.
Okay.
So they did show off some of that. You mentioned that. Now, I think the bigger thing for me that caught me off guard was Cyberpunk 2077 coming to Stadia.
Why would that catch you off guard?
Just because it's a super, just taxing game on legit hardware, and the fact that Stadia is saying, yeah, we can stream this too. I'm like, okay, that seems cool.
Be easier to do that. That may be how I have to play it if I want to play on PC.
Oh yeah, for me for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
you'll have like a next gen console probably.
Well, I mean, this is still releasing on current gen, but I'm sure there'll be a next gen. Port.
I'll zoom out.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just seems like they're really doubling down and committing to these really high end experiences like 4K games, like say the new Doom, this Cyberpunk game. So they're confident in the Stadia platform.
Well, this is the kind of game that they should be putting forefront, because that's the thing with the cloud is you can have so much more horsepower, do something stupid with it.
Right. Yeah.
And this is that stupid.
That's true. I mean, I'm excited. I'm on board. I see a lot of hate online for Stadia, just like people, different outlets, just not at all foreseeing a legit release or just a lot of hiccups, which I get, but I'm still in support. Like I'm on board for this. I want this to happen. I want to live in the world where this is a legit option you can have to play these games.
Sure.
Have I committed and bought the $100 controller with the fancy stuff right out the gate? No. I want to see this thing work before I do commit, but I am excited. So they haven't committed to releasing Cyberpunk when it actually comes out also on Stadia, but they're saying soon it will be supported, when it actually launches.
I don't think Stadia is going to be hard to port to at all. I think it's going to be really, really easy. Yeah. I think you're going to be pulling those whatever rays a lot easier.
Gotcha.
Like it's,
Yeah, if it works, then it works. It's not going to be for everybody, right? You have to have a legit connection, but just like a lot of things, it's not for everyone. And those consoles still exist for people that don't have access to high speed. They can get an actual rig to play this. Yeah. But so they announced that, and they're getting quite a bit of games under their belt. So Watch Dogs Legion apparently was announced as well for Stadia.
I forget about that game.
Yeah.
I hope it's good, because they put a lot of time and effort into that mechanic that could be total garbage.
Well, I think that mechanic might be the biggest thing actually giving it legs, because it's kind of a tired series at this point. I don't know if people are really, super stoked on the second one. So that is bringing more attention to it. And I think that's the reason why they're making other ones. They have this kind of mechanic to work with it. But if it isn't fun or interesting enough, I don't see that doing too well.
It is kind of astounding that one sold enough to make a 2. Right. And that 2 sold enough to make a 3.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like just slowly dwindling to where it's not going to kind of keep itself going. But maybe
I partially bought 1 just due to the graphics in the E3 trailer.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama with that one. I remember that.
I remember somebody put out a mod that fixed it.
Really?
Yeah, it brought it straight back to E3. It was very impressive.
Interesting. Yeah. That's super weird.
It was hard to run, but as it would be, because that was stupid pretty.
Yeah, and they promised too much apparently at that time.
Yeah.
But and I bought the 2 on sale on PS4, and it was cool. It was fine.
I hear it's good. Apparently, you get to hack the planet.
Right. Yes. So we got the Stadia news there. Otherwise, at Gamescom, there was a bunch of other stuff that was announced. So there was some Gears 5 extra footage shown. So I was going to pull that up.
Go binge that.
Yeah. So they showed off the Horde mode.
Yeah, I hear. So I saw something weird about this. There was an article about, well, it's like a hero shooter now because you pick your character and they have abilities and stuff. But I'm like, didn't they have that last version?
Yeah, I want to say unless this is an advanced version of the Horde mode and they didn't have it last time. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
But I mean, it's coming out very soon, so at least they're showing off this footage. But
it's still weird to me that Gears is no longer made by Epic, although it still has that one guy that's from Epic. But
really?
it's not made by Epic anymore. Which is
it's
strange.
what, Coalition, right? So they actually acquired that studio.
Yeah,
that makes it. I did see something about Gears 5 on Steam. It's gonna have Steam support, but I haven't confirmed that. I'm gonna Google that right now.
You get to play as the robot? What is?
Well, as far as what in this thing?
Yeah, I think you get to play as the robot.
Oh yeah, because that's a faction in the last one, so it looks like I guess you can.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know if you have any perspective on them being on Steam. Is that a big deal for Gears 5?
It's on Steam?
Apparently it will release on Steam as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'll probably play it. Hopefully my computer can run it.
Gotcha.
I feel like they're not doing anything stupid demanding as far as graphics go. Like, it's damn pretty.
Yeah.
But hopefully I may need to get a new PC before too long. But
I think you might.
I'm ready for some more Gears, man.
Yeah.
Like I've had my break. I'm done. Let's get some more chainsaws.
Right. I saw some competitive stuff. It was just like GIFs I was watching over the weekend.
Stupid good.
Yeah, it's nuts. They know exactly where to like swing and the kind of time frame you have to time everything with the shotgun. It's
the
nuts.
weird way they're bouncing between walls.
Oh, I haven't seen that, but that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, it's just interesting. I read on Twitter, there's other people kind of breaking it down, but just as far as Microsoft being willing to have this, it's a Game Pass game, so if you have Game Pass, it's free, but also it's on Windows, but it's on Steam as well. So they're really kind of just letting this, spread to wherever you want to buy this.
Well, and they just announced another game too, that's coming to Switch. That's on a Microsoft exclusive studio.
Oh, is it Ori and the Blind Forest? Right?
Yeah,
that was a big one. Yeah.
I thought it was something else. Like,
oh, okay.
I don't know what their plan is. Is this working? Are they just making money hand over fist? They totally could be, and we just don't know.
Right.
Well, actually, they're a publicly traded company, so we could probably find out.
They are, but with the Xbox One, they don't release stats anymore. Like, they stopped doing that this generation. But you're right. I'm not sure their idea, but they must be playing the long game where they just want to be looked at as this company that supports everything. And that's how they get people back on board. Maybe.
I mean, they don't look like the bad guy. Like they're
exactly.
So
now, as we're talking about Xbox, there was an interview with one of the head guys. So head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, talked to IGN and just kind of laid out their plans with Scarlet, which will eventually be the next Xbox. Mm-hmm. But in this interview, kind of lays out some of the stuff we already knew pretty much. But so. This is from IGN. Jesse Wade writes, Phil Spencer talked about the importance of playability and high frame rates with Xbox Scarlet, saying, ensuring that the games load incredibly fast, ensuring that the game is running at the highest frame rate possible. We're also the Windows company. So we see the work that goes on for PC and the work that developers are doing. People love 60 frames per second games, so getting games to run at 4K, 60 FPS, I think will be a real design goal for us. Sure. So he can continue on supporting 4K on Xbox One X, and how it's going to be the focus for the next generation. But also they mentioned something that was pretty cool. So they're supporting cross-gen use with the old controller. So a lot of the past releases, they don't do that. PS3 controllers don't work on PS4 and vice versa. So it's cool that they're letting the Xbox One work on that next Xbox Scarlet.
Do we want another controller? I like the Xbox One controller.
Right. I'd like to see them bring it back and just it works. Just keep it and not add these little gimmicky stuff like with PS4. The light thing on the front, which was really only for VR.
Right.
And also that touchscreen
that no one uses.
Yeah. So let's just get it back to a controller, and it also works on the different platforms.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they kind of. laid out what we expect. They're going to make this beefy machine, and that's the focus. And
that's sweet. I am happy about that with the controller, though, because it's a really good controller.
It is. I do like that controller a lot. I don't know if I'm used to the PS4 controller more, but I like the grippy nature, just the way everything's arranged on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
But yeah. So let's see what else we had. We had Iron Fury released last week, and there was some drama with the actual devs and kind of some stuff they've said, and they're kind of apologizing for it. Yeah, apparently. So this is from,
was it about the Ion Maiden shit or?
No, that was a name change, right, from them?
Yeah,
years ago, or like they had recently changed the name.
Yeah.
So no, this is just comments they've made in the game and on forums and stuff. So this is Nathan Grayson from Kotaku writes, Iron Fury Studio apologizes for developers' sexist and transphobic comments. Will patch out offensive jokes. I haven't played the game.
Patched out, so it's in the game.
So there's offensive jokes in the game that you can find. That's what they're patching out. But in term with that, there's also some comments that the devs have made on people in the team have made on these forums on Discord, and so people are highlighting that and saying, "Hey, what the hell's going on?" But yeah, so I'll read the details on this. The developer of the acclaimed new retro shooter Ion Fury has apologized for what it referred to as sexist and transphobic comments made by 2 of its employees on Discord. It has also promised to patch out several homophobic jokes that were included in the game itself. Iron Fury, which was released on August 15th, was largely met with gushing praise. Last week, a user on gaming forum Reset Era posted Discord screenshots with messages from members of the Ion Fury's development studio, Voidpoint. These included remarks from a lead developer who goes by the handle Terminx about how SGWs are fucking nuts. Something I don't really understand about the social justice stuff is that they have stuff like the slut walk, which I thought was about the right to not be harassed about how you dress, how they dress, but then if you portray women dressed the same way, you get shit for it. Terminx wrote in a discussion with other members of the Discord channel. So there's that, and I guess they were leaving like homophobic slurs within the game that you can find. Like there's a parody of Olay shampoo brand as Ogay, stuff like that. So they're just kind of reacting to it and apologizing for it. So publisher 3D Realms noted that the in-game language in question was not approved by us and that it hopes to ensure this kind of thing never happens again. Moving forward, all of the 3D Realms contracts will include terms which would allow us to sever relationships if a contractor does not abide by our zero tolerance policy for hate speech. So it was just, I saw that building online and Twitter, people requiring like a response from the devs, and they finally talked about it. But I don't know if this is littered everywhere or if it's in spots, but they're trying to change the vibe.
Interesting.
But other than that, I've seen footage of the game. It looks really cool. I like that it's kind of like a callback to these older, like Doom. Was it Doom 3D or not Doom 3D? Duke Nukem 3D.
Yeah, Duke Nukem. Yeah. I think it's interesting that her main weapon is a grenade launcher, so you got to deal with like the bounce and the arc and stuff. So it takes a little bit more skill. I hear it's supposed to be a very good game.
Is it only PC right now?
I don't know.
I feel like right now it is, but yeah, I do want to play it. I watched it was a Digital Foundry breakdown of some of the tech they use. I think they're still using current tech, but they're really trying to make it look like it's tech from back then.
I think it actually is the old tech.
Is it? Okay.
It's and that was one of the cool things about it in the presser is that yes, this is the old engine.
That's really cool. I imagine that's really tough to develop, right? To like.
I don't know. I honestly have no idea.
But I wonder if maybe it's not well published, but like other devs doing the same kind of style where they actually make themselves use that old tech, but then with those restrictions, you have to then be creative. And out of that, out of that restrictions, you get these really creative decisions and you get cool stuff.
Yeah.
Just like back then, they were limited to a lot of this, the hardware at the time. But so that's that. They're dealing with that Fallout. They're changing stuff, which is cool. This happened
in development.
Yeah, so this happened last week. So THQ Nordic says a new Saints Row game is deep in development. Also, other news on some of the things that they own. So this is from Engadget. So yeah, as far as a new Saints Row, does that interest you at all? I never got fully into those games.
It's one of those ones where I should have, because Conker's Bad Fur Day is like one of my favorite games of all time, and this is it appears from the outside that this is the same batshit crazy, dumb as hell humor that you're gonna be laughing. So I should play it.
You can find it super cheap now, I'm sure too.
I just almost wish it were like not open world.
Gotcha.
Like when I see it, just give me a linear story that's goofy, it's funny.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they're great. Everyone has always told me they're great. I've never heard a complaint.
Exactly.
Except for the first one. Did you ever?
No, I do remember that first one launching. I think it was like one of the Xbox launch titles, or like very close to launch on 360.
It was a bad game.
It looked bad, but they really kind of turned it around and changed the format. But
yeah, I still remember like playing the demo and I got out of my car. And then my car flipped sideways on top of me. So I'm just standing with a car around me. And I can't move. And I'm like,
this is cool.
So that happened within 5 minutes. Fuck this game.
Right. Yeah.
Never coming back.
And that's a fair perspective. Yeah. So I pulled up this article from Engadget. They kind of detail some of the other news from THQ Nordic. So they talk about how, they announced that Saints Row, the next game, is deep in development, but also elsewhere, Dambuster Studios is taking over the development on Dead Island 2. It's the third studio to take charge of the long-awaited Dead Island sequel after Jaeger and Sumo Digital worked on the title. The move means THQ Nordic is shifting development to one of its internal studios. You mentioned it's the third studio, right, that change hands. Yeah. Doesn't necessarily mean it started from the beginning every time, right? They're trading over the assets and what they have now, and that new team decides if they want to keep what's there. And
we have literally no idea.
Gotcha.
It could be a situation like Duke Nukem Forever, where this new team comes in and just takes what's there and finishes it, and then you have this hot pile of garbage.
Gotcha.
Because you don't have the same vision, the same goal for it.
That's true. Yeah.
They could be resetting, like I'm pretty sure with like Metroid, when that changed back to retro, I'm pretty sure they threw the baby out with the bathwater on that one.
Gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, maybe that's best because otherwise you really tarnish that whole brand, and it's kind of a growing brand if you just release something that is just chopped up and put together.
Yeah, we don't know.
So this
Time Splitters.
Too. Yeah. So there was also news.
People care about that. People are going to be excited. I never had a chance. I hear they're fun. It always looked to me like a more polished GoldenEye.
Interesting.
But with goofy guns.
Yeah, I want to say early on it was maybe the first one. Was it that same studio or people from that studio? It wasn't Rare, but I know there's ties to GoldenEye with that for sure. I just forget what those ties are.
Very arcadey, like.
Right. I think I played a demo on Xbox of Time Splitters 2.
Sure.
And I didn't get very far, and that was years ago. But so there's also news on the Time Splitters front after it bought the rights to that franchise last year. That's THQ Nordic. Mm-hmm. We're delighted to announce that one of the series creators, Steve Ellis, has joined us to help plot the future course for this franchise. It said in its earnings report. There's no more detail on quite what that means, though it suggests THQ Nordic is working on a new Time Splitters game. So they're getting things in order, getting the team together, but yeah.
That'd be cool. I feel like those games can't be that hard to make, but I don't know how you make a modern when it hasn't been around since the PlayStation, or maybe it was PlayStation 2, I don't know.
I want to say PS2 because I remember playing the demo on Xbox, but I don't know if that was a port or what.
So how do you bring that into the modern era?
Right. Well, I remember the art style was sort of cartoony, so maybe they rely on that because there's plenty of like futuristic shooters or current gen shooters, so maybe you go on that side. But then you get too close to Fortnite, so they gotta carve this way that's unique still.
Yeah. Well, you're right. This does bring up a thing that I've already forgotten partway through
talking about it.
Talking about it. So
that's my life guy.
Can you scroll down for a second? Maybe get it back.
Gotcha. Or Darksiders 3
no,
or
it's gone.
Gotcha. Well, we'll come back to it. Now you sent me this, so I didn't know the name of it. So it's called Chicory, A Colorful Tale. So this is from ex-devs from Celeste and Wondersong.
Wow, that number just did a big jump. Yeah, so I think it's the composer from Celeste.
Gotcha.
And I believe the designer of Wondersong, which you still need to play.
Yeah, that was the one you were telling me about last week?
Put a few months ago.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't looked up the trailer for this. So they've started a Kickstarter for their game called Chicory. It looks super cute. It's already on Kickstarter. It's already reached the goal on Kickstarter.
It's a pretty low goal.
So we're watching the footage here. It's almost like a sort of a paint style game, or where that's the mechanic. It's also created from Night in the Woods.
Right. And after Celeste, like seeing how far this developer can take an extremely simple mechanic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm going to be very curious to see.
So it's almost like a coloring book. You're painting, but that's the mechanic. You want to color things in a certain way to traverse. It looks
and apparently
like
2 people can control.
Oh, nice. Yeah, local co-op.
Brushes.
I imagine the color is going to be the puzzle mechanic, right? I can see that.
Right, yeah. So that you're...
Okay, yep. It's almost like The Witness with the puzzles.
Sure.
Looks cool.
Just looks cute.
Yeah, looks cute as hell. It's right up my alley. I'm down.
20X.
2020.
That's when Mega Man comes around.
Yeah, so
it's 20XX, I think.
Yeah, you're right. So the pledged goal is 30,000. They've already reached 47,000. They have 25 days to go. I'm sure, they're going to go way above and beyond that. They got some cool tiers where you can get a t-shirt, you can get your name in the credits. Mm-hmm. You can get, eventually, if you pledge $100 or more, you get a character based on you. So they can make a caricature of you. The game artist will do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But, yep.
For how much?
For over $100.
That's nothing, though.
Right, and you get the copy of the game. You get a T-shirt. You get an enamel pin, sticker sheet, the soundtrack, digital art book, in addition to that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I know you mentioned kind of shaking up the team with one of the last games we talked about with Dead Island 2, and there was news with the newer Halo game got rid of one of its one of the big team leads. So I just googled Halo game.
That could.
He left the actual studio, so I want to...
Did he say why?
They didn't say why. No. They're in the last year of the development, so I know sometimes stuff changes.
They're in the last year? But isn't this a next gen?
This is next gen. It comes out next holiday season, so not this one.
Oh, it's going to be a launch title like original Halo. Right. How cool is that?
Yep.
That's neato.
So I just forget the name of the person who's actually leaving, but here we go.
Studio 343.
So Halo Infinite creative director leaves company. This is Jason Schreier. Tim Longo, creative director for the upcoming Halo Infinite, left developer 343 Industries this week, Kotaku has learned. It's part of a leadership shakeup that arrives late in the development of the next Halo game, which is scheduled for release in fall 2020. Longo, an industry veteran who also served as creative director for Halo 5, had moved to a different role a few weeks ago. According to 2 people familiar with goings-on at 343, this week he left the company entirely. Jason goes on this, but apparently it's as mutual as it is publicly. But they talk about how Microsoft supports this guy leaving, and they already have the next person in line. So it's I think the creative director.
I'm pretty sure they had the next person in line before he left. That's why they moved him to a different department, and he said, "Fuck it." Gotcha.
It's possible. I know I will see like layoffs happen the last year of developments and or months leading up to release. Sometimes that's just a product of the fact that, hey, this is your part's done. We can let you go and you can do something else.
Not for that role.
Gotcha. Okay.
That is, you can do that. You can do that sort of with artists, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I don't need 100 artists. I need 10.
Creative director, right, is a big deal.
You can do it. Yeah.
So what does that? It's too early to foresee, but like, what does that mean for? The game? Does that mean they are still kind of working things out? But I mean, they have 1 year left to really work on this game.
Now, I don't necessarily know when I think director, I think you have the vision that is driving this thing forward.
Yeah.
So if that vision is gone and everyone has to guess at what their vision was and try and make this concoction, we end up with weird games,
right?
And we've seen this before.
Yeah.
So it makes me nervous. I want this to be the best Halo that ever was,
and they have to knock it out of the park. With the last one just kind of releasing the way it did and having kind of just lackluster reviews, they have to knock this one out of the park. So Kotaku does get this quote from Microsoft. They lay out some details on their response. So the overall creative vision and production of the game remains led by Chris Lee, studio head of Halo Infinite. So they at least have this studio head, watching this overall. He's the creative vision of the game. So hopefully that's good. But yeah, that's never a positive thing, I would imagine, to lose your creative director.
No, I cannot.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. But I know that was a couple days ago that was released.
Well, fingers crossed it's a good game.
Yeah. Gavin, I think that's all I have for you this week.
See, what else do we have? So we had Call of Duty is going into open. They're going to do
the
like
alpha, right?
Yeah, like an open alpha. That's gonna be pretty badass. Very excited about that.
I cannot wait for that fucking game.
I
don't know why it is, but now it's like coming full swing where it's like I'm on board with everything they're doing.
It's weird because it's like it feels like it's different, but then when I watched a whole bunch of that gameplay of it, I'm like, well, it's not really.
You're right. It's the same.
Still Call of Duty.
Slight tweaks. It looks beautiful.
So we have that. I think this game's going to be really badass. It's going to kind of put it back where it not that it ever went anywhere. It's not like these sales.
No, but they do a good job of battling fatigue with this whole series. Because, I mean, this is what, 10 plus years. They release every year pretty much, and they're constantly staying at the top of these sales charts. So that alpha you're talking about, it's on PS4. It's August 23rd, which is, what, a couple days away?
4 days.
4 days away. I imagine you have to pre-order the game to get access to this.
Yeah. So you're doing that, right?
I've done it before. They tend to get me with these betas, yeah.
So there was a game I saw down there. Destructoid was all about this trailer, and I was like, I don't get why this trailer...
Disintegration?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't get what...
Let's look at this. So Disintegration, the new shooter from co-creator of Halo, revealed.
To me, I can't figure out what the fuck it is.
Gotcha.
So they show like... And you can kind of skip the part where it's just him like...
Do they show gameplay or is it more?
They show gameplay a little ways in, but it's mostly cinematic. And then they show this gameplay, and so there's this guy on that thing.
Yeah.
And then there's those guys. So in my mind, are those guys? Is this sort of like an RTS where I control this guy up top, but also I'm shooting?
Interesting. Well, do you think you're in a party with people though? Or
I don't know. I'm starting to think that it's probably an RTS, but you're that guy up top that's for some reason not being shot at. But gotcha. I just don't know. It's too weird that they don't shift perspectives. It's always that flying guy's perspective. So that I kind of get the feeling it's going to be a weird RTS.
Gotcha.
Which would be neat that it's like it's like from the creative director of Halo. Because originally it was going to be an RTS.
Well, I think you're right. I feel like I remember hearing about that. I know eventually they showed it off, or initially they showed it off at like one of Apple's keynote.
Yeah, originally it was on, or I don't know if originally, but at one point it was running on Mac.
So this is Disintegration. So you're right. You mentioned it's so it's from V1 Interactive.
Yeah.
The independent development studio is co-founded by Marcus Leto, former creative director at Bungie and co-creator of the Halo universe.
Can we talk about Kerbal Space Program 2 was announced?
You're right. I forgot to announce that or let you know that. Yeah.
That's a weird one to me because I know Microsoft took a lot of the top brass not Microsoft, Valve. Bought out most of the team.
Yeah.
So who's left? What's this game going to be? And I know like the physics they programmed in on this game to calculate the stresses and the strains on like joints and stuff was so incredibly complex. They had to bring in some really smart mathematicians to do this.
Gotcha.
So are we still going to have that? Are they at Valve? Like, what is this game?
Maybe they have the bare bones and they're just improving on what was already created, in the last one.
Is it going to look like this?
It said not actual gameplay in the trailer, so we're watching the trailer now.
God, that'd be cool if it looked.
They're using this M83 song, which I love. That's an awesome band, but they create these like epic sounding songs. But let's watch this trailer. So this is a CG trailer here,
right?
But they're making it look very epic.
I like how they're.
And he falls. Sure.
Oh, that's perfect. If you were in the audience seeing this, just be laughing your ass. Oh, and it falls on top of him. This is perfect. This is amazing.
I know this is on PS4 consoles. I haven't played the original Kerbal Space Program.
It's on consoles?
Apparently, yeah. I remember reading about it.
I am going to be curious to see what's different. Because you can do so much stuff in the original.
It's dope. Well, there's like, I don't know if that happens in the original game, but there's like space stations and spaceships crashing into each other. So
I think you could do that because there's a lot of destruction with the ships. But was it
just about launching or it was actually other stuff when you're in space?
You set your own goals. So you want to go to the moon. It's going to take a lot of work, but it looks like we're maybe going to different galaxies.
Well, it's like a gas giant too.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? Whoa.
Are they playing with like theoretical,
I think they're playing around with theoretical. I think you're right.
That's dope. Yeah, because this doesn't look possible currently, but they're still trying to make the physics work with what's theoretical.
And you can build a base when you get there? That's not in the original that I know of.
Interesting.
How wonderful.
That's awesome.
And it's going to be cool because getting to that planet's going to be hard as shit. And I love that.
It falls over. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Can you play with it? This is single player only, right? It's not like, because they have a team here on the...
I think so.
Gotcha. That's funny.
I think they're going to take the destruction further. I mean, it was already impressive before. I think they're going to take that further.
Yeah.
Looks like base building on other planets. That looks fucking awesome. The people that love the original game are just going to love this.
Yeah. So it's 2020 is the time frame they're giving at the end of the trailer. And they say PS4, Xbox One, and PC in the trailer. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Another game I'm excited about, Rad came out. I've got to check out Rad.
Reviews came out for that, right? Did you, what do you mean check it out? Did you just watch footage or play it?
I just remember seeing the announcement.
So it's on Switch. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And it's a Double Fine game, which again, Double Fine owned by Microsoft. So they keep...
Yeah. They just keep allowing them to...
It's so weird, the choices they're making.
Right.
But it's a roguelite. It's got cool mechanics.
I want to say Microsoft showed this off at their E3 thing too.
I think so. That or like Jeff Keighley's thingamajig. Game of the Year awards.
Oh, sure. So I forget what you're actually doing in this game.
I know you're mutating your limbs to try and get more powerful.
Interesting.
So like, what are we getting here? We got a tail. We got wings.
Yeah.
There we go.
So we're watching the launch trailer for Switch. This seems perfect on Switch too.
Right? I don't admittedly love the art style. But I bet it's fun. We also don't get very many roguelites that are like actually 3D. It's not really taking advantage of 3D gameplay, it looks like, which would be nice. But
that looks cool.
So you can have a snake hit. So hopefully it's good.
Yeah. So August 20th, so it's out tomorrow.
Ooh.
At least for Switch and whatnot, but
yeah. And then we have Knights and Bikes.
That came out last week, I want to say, right?
I think it comes out this month.
Gotcha. Ooh,
we covered that one already. My bad.
Yeah, Knights and Bikes, I want to say it's for sure this month. One of them was that week that we were talking about. Yeah. That's also a Double Fine game.
Yeah.
This
music is great, though.
The soundtrack is dope. They were highlighting that soundtrack in the beginning of the trailer, too, so I wonder if that's a separate thing you can get. Yeah. Remade again. Yeah, Bandai Namco is doing they're partnering with them for the soundtrack.
Oh, well. I really want to check and see how that one cool space game, the Rebel Galaxy Outlaws, is doing.
Right.
Because I'm worried that that's one of those games that's like cool for a couple of days and then everyone stops playing it.
Yeah, I know. I watched the IGN review and they gave it a really good review.
Right.
So, I mean, 8 out of 10 for Outlaw.
8 out of 10. That's like a 0 for IGN, right?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty good. But yeah, that's coming out. I don't think there's any releases this week of note. We're getting closer and closer to Control, which is end of the month.
Oh, shit.
I cannot wait for that game.
I love how little we know.
Yep.
And I'd like to keep it that way.
I agree.
Can I just come over one of these days and you're like, here you go.
Yes, 100%.
Try and figure out the fuck this is.
I think when I get it, definitely come over and we'll play it. We might be in the new house by then too. So that's next Tuesday.
Did you see they showed a scene of like her talking with like a janitor?
I haven't seen that, no.
It was so eerie and odd.
Interesting.
It was just weird.
Like the conversation or the person?
The conversation was just weird. And I don't I don't know if she's a janitor or like an assistant janitor. Or she was pretending to be. Yeah. The facial tech is great. The faces look really, really good.
And we saw that in the last one too. That was it. Not Beyond Control. What was the actual like time bending one?
Something break.
Yeah.
Point break.
Quantum break.
Quantum break. There we go.
Yeah. But yeah, their face tech was really good.
Your gun in the air and go R.
We have yet to do that in the game. I think. I mean, you can do that in any game you want.
Yeah.
Where it's actually made there. But yeah, I've seen like footage of the gun too. Like you can upgrade her gun. And it's just this weird, like,
it's weird
morphing thing that defies gravity. It's really cool.
So fucking cool.
They just like went loose on this game.
Oh, we can bring out the ColecoVisions back. Cause why?
Oh, there's that separate like actual thing they're releasing, right?
Yeah,
that Coleco.
I don't know.
I'm gonna do a horrible job of.
Go to Destructoid.com and it'll pop up.
There's
like a trailer for it, and it looks like it still has the knob, but also. like it'll have a touchscreen.
Is it the Coleco or the Intellivision? New console released next February.
Intellivision. Sorry, Intellivision.
It's like two little phones.
I don't know the difference.
Launches
That's kind of what it looks like, but it's still got the dialing knob.
Gotcha. So it was unveiled at Gamescom today. Intellivision CEO Tommy Tallarico unveiled the Intellivision Amico.
Of course, they let Tommy Tallarico do it.
Does he do sound? I feel like he's a big sound guy.
He was a big composer.
Yeah.
He's kind of just fun as like an announcer because he's got he's got stupid amounts of energy and it's legitimately genuine. Like this guy is fucking psyched all the time.
That's awesome. So it's retailing for under $200 on October 10th, 2020.
$200 ain't bad.
Yep.
Do you want to see the trailer?
Yeah. Let's show the release trailer of some of the.
I feel like this is the competition for that weird that console with the crank.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. It's an interesting time for these weird releases. I feel like he's looked like this for a while too.
He has not aged.
Yeah, because he was on. There was that G4. Like before G4, there was that other game channel that eventually morphed into G4.
Spike?
No, it was like Play something. But anyways, he was on there a lot, and they would review games and stuff. I forget the name of that channel.
Oh,
but whatever it used to be, it was like Tech
Why
TV.
are there lights
Tech
on
TV.
it? Oh my god.
So he's selling it, which is cool, but I want to see what it looks like.
Simple, affordable.
Yeah.
Oh, there's.
So
those look.
But it's upgraded tech, right? So, but maybe their focus is retro-looking games or mobile games.
I don't want this.
Yeah, it looks like it's mobile, almost like the that last. There's a recent console that died.
This is the Ouya. This is the new Ouya.
Yeah, with that same mobile tech in this console.
Those games on the Ouya look just like that.
Right, but the whole selling point is the fact that they can use the Intellivision, license basically to sell this. But maybe it'll be cooler than that. I don't know. But is this really reaching to that old school audience who aren't going to be buying this anyways, or is it for like purists that like the Intellivision line or just want something? But there's no I feel like the Intellivision had wood grain, or maybe I'm just thinking of Atari. But I don't know if this is like similar to that initial Intellivision line of consoles.
I feel bad about what I've just seen. Like they paid lots of money to get Tommy Tallarico. Oh, it did have wood paneling.
Yeah, and it did have the little phone-looking devices. So it had the wood paneling. So I feel like it's a modernized look on that original release, but I don't know if that's enough to bring in people who grew up with that.
It almost reminds the modernized look looks like somebody tried combining like a modern cell phone with
the landline?
like one of those pickup wireless phones because it had the lights around the side.
Yep. It's rough, but hopefully they make enough to pay for all the stuff invested in this.
Just Tommy Tallarico make enough to pay for that one ad.
Yeah. Jeez, but that was also showed off at Gamescom. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys.
Why does it have a touchscreen?
I don't know. That's it. I think we'll end it there.
Alrighty.
Feel good about it. Gavin, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at DrunkDevs.
Awesome. You can find us on Twitter as well, Plastic Heart Pod. And then I am at Fonzie Pants on Twitter. Alrighty, guys. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Out from sheer exhaustion.
See, I don't understand the issue with that because people are watching it, and so it's weird.
It's
I guess you could take advantage of if you want creepy guys to watch you, but there's a market for it, and you get paid. People are watching your stream, so
sure,
do it.
If you can do that, I don't think I could sleep.
No, knowing people are watching you.
Yeah.
Although it could be maybe the safest way because if somebody comes in, breaks into your house. Well, hopefully they would call the cops before they murder you.
We're gonna make the swatting that much scarier.
Yeah. How have you been, Kevin?
Oh, I've been really good. How about yourself?
Good.
went back. I know you got ramen the other day. I'd gotten it like 2 days before, and I tried that spicy one like you recommended.
Yeah, what'd you think? I don't think it's that spicy.
I thought it was pretty spicy.
Really? Well, you know what? I'll change my initial approach. Like at the bottom, that's where the spice is. So like towards the end, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling it.
Well, the other thing too is like you just never know with spicy shit. Like if they're just pouring in like
yeah.
And it's like down to the pepper. Like sometimes you get an angry jalapeno, other times you get a chill jalapeno.
Right. I want to give the guy in the back, like I want to give him a wink. I can't wink, but I want to give him like a clear wink. And so he knows, okay, I'm not fucking around. Give me what you normally would do for the hot, because I just want to try it. And if I can't handle it, then that's my fault. But
I don't know. I still don't like hot soup like that. That doesn't do it for me. But the wedding was good.
Oh yeah, I got the wedding.
That was the richest wedding I've ever been to.
So he posted this picture, right? And I think I was sitting next to Megan, and I was like, oh, I forget how white Gavin is sometimes, because like, your outfit, and I celebrate it. Go for it. That's awesome. But like I see your outfit and just the crew of people, it's like, hey, it's beautiful. It's just a happy white group of people. But yeah, something about your outfit too. Like I think the pants were a bit too big. I thought they just accentuated the whiteness. I thought.
I'd have to see the photo.
Gotcha. It was like you and I want to say your cousin. I've seen that guy before, and like some other people who were in the wedding party. I think it was on like Facebook or Instagram or something.
Really? Okay.
But yeah, I thought it was cool.
Checked it since I got back. I woke up at like 5 this morning and then drove 5 hours back from Bend.
Jeez.
And then just straight to work.
Oy.
Because I didn't realize the wedding was on Sunday. I thought it was on Saturday.
Right.
So I'll cruise back casually on Sunday. But I was like, I promised customers, very expensive customers, that I'd be back helping them on Monday.
Jeez. Dang, well, at least I guess you can sleep tonight then.
Oh, yeah. After I get back to pray.
Yeah. Get your white bread and mayonnaise. And
I'm curious what this photo was.
It was just on there. It was on your Facebook feed. Or maybe somebody tagged you in it. I don't know if you yourself
I would have had to have been tagged. I don't have Facebook on my phone, so I can't.
Oh, gotcha.
All I can think is like the photo booth pic, maybe? Like were we holding props and shit?
No, it was just a picture of you.
So they did one of those photo booths, right? Where they had props.
It was this one.
Yeah, that's pretty white.
It wasn't a negative. It was
I think,
oh, okay.
I
cool.
think the thing to make it even whiter. So
like this guy's the most ethnic guy there.
Yeah, he's adopted.
Okay.
It's true.
Yeah.
He's from Yakima, but he's adopted.
And is that your cousin or something?
Yeah, that's the one getting
married.
Gotcha.
I've seen that guy before. But he was the one getting married?
So he's the one getting married.
Oh, okay.
That's my cousin Katie. I was playing a game of try and pit all the guys against each other to sleep with her, and we were taking bets on who was going to win. No one won. I was disappointed. She is taking her second divorce with stride. She's like, I'm dating like 6 guys right now, and I'm trying to decide. I like the guy with the 30-foot yacht better. But the other guy has a 50-foot yacht. Then it shows me this other guy that looks like an underwear model. He's got like one of those ab V thingies.
Yeah,
and I'm
get
like,
the fuck
that
out of
one.
here.
I don't care that he's poor.
Yeah, poor in the context of he has a smaller yacht than the other guy, right?
No, he's like he has less money than her. But she's like a uber successful accountant.
Gotcha.
Like she does for like, I think one of her clients was like the Florida Mayhem Overwatch sports team.
Oh, you mentioned that to me. Yeah, okay. Wow.
But yeah, the other girl cousin in that, she somehow made it out of Hong Kong to get there.
What?
Which is fucking impressive.
Jeez.
So it's not only getting out of Hong Kong, but also all of America's.
There's these protests in China right now, right? I don't know if
they cleared it out. I think right before she left.
Gotcha.
And but the other thing, so customs computers in America are down.
Whoa.
So they're having to do shit by hand.
Whoa. Good luck with that.
Right. There's only a lot of countries out there that we get people in from.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
That's cool though. How was the wedding? Like any cool stuff go down?
It was crazy. I'm not used to seeing that much money. Like her. You can do a lot of shit if you have money. Like
I imagine.
Lot of money.
What did they have? Like a Maroon 5 perform? Like what were the?
Oddly enough, the guitarist for the wedding did look exactly like Smash Mouth.
Okay.
Or am I thinking Smash Mouth? I think
he's the somebody wants.
Yeah, the chin strap, the dumb fucking almost faux hawk right in the front.
Gotcha.
It's like, damn, they got Smash Mouth.
Or a guy looks like Smash Mouth.
Good for them.
That's cool though.
Cool, yeah. And
nice.
Awkward because my family's trying to like hook me up with any girl that walks in 5
sure.
feet. Like, have you met my son? Like, oh god. Oh god.
The first question is, how big is your yacht? And then they go from there. And
well, I think the thing, my other cousin that they're normally doing that was, yes, it's off me.
Yeah.
So they kept trying to get me with this redheaded girl that I knew because she was the bride's roommate.
Okay.
So I'd hung out with her before.
Gotcha.
So they're just like, you should go hang out with her. It's like, I know that she's a virgin until marriage.
Oh. Gotcha.
Too old to be playing that game. She is too.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. It was a good wedding.
Nice. Do you get any like swag bag stuff when it's a wedding of that? Okay. Like an iPad or something?
You're supposed to get swag you're supposed to give people gifts. I did terrible at my wedding. I just gave people like ties. They got to keep their ties.
Okay.
Sweet.
Gotcha.
We all got custom made knives.
Whoa.
And they're fucking huge. They're like when it's out, when it's all the way retracted, it's like that big.
Okay.
And it's heavy, and it's got like a cool like my name and trees.
What? Like etched into the metal or like on the handle of it?
Into the handle. It's like a wooden handle.
Okay, that's awesome.
Also, I have a shit ton of beer because I was one of the few people not flying.
Okay.
And
so just like, here's this beer.
Also, no one wanted, like, I didn't really want it either. But everyone else didn't want it more. So like me and one other guy begrudgingly split all this beer.
So you just bring back like a U-Haul of beer with you.
Dude, after the bachelor party, I never want to drink an IPA again. I had the worst hangover. I think it was tied for worst hangover of my life. Jeez. I was so sick. I threw up the next morning, and then I got up. I had to go to the store to get aspirin, and it's just roundabout after roundabout after roundabout. So when I got back, I immediately threw up.
Yikes.
It's pretty rough.
It's all IPAs too, or what?
That night was, I didn't touch an IPA.
Well, like the beer you brought with you.
Yeah, it's all fucking IPA.
Gotcha.
So if you want some beer,
I mean, that's my jam, but, I don't know. Maybe we can build, we don't have any furniture yet for the new place. We can just build couches out of are they in boxes?
Sort of. Like one was in
like a couch out of it.
There you go.
And you just crack open a, there you go.
We should probably keep going.
Okay.
How is so you're in it now?
No, not yet. We have to wait till the end of the month to move in because they're still kind of fixing some stuff up. But like by the 27th or something, we can just move it all in. And
wowzers.
Yeah, and we have to move it before September 1st because we have an end date with Graph, so we have to be out of there. But
book it.
Yeah, but we're pretty good. Like everything we have, it's like not too crazy to move, so we can do it in one day, just moving everything over.
Yeah.
But yep.
You start boxing everything up.
Pretty much, yeah.
Do you need boxes? I still have some.
I have a shit ton of boxes, so I'm good. That's when everyone like I've asked is like, oh, I got boxes.
I got boxes from my last move. Can't get rid of them.
Yeah, apparently so does everyone else. So yeah.
No, that's what I was trying. Yeah. We got so much shit to cover today.
There's a lot of stuff, yeah.
Like even if it was just today's news, that's a lot.
Right, and I pulled up some of the things you had talked about you messaged me last week.
That's right. I gotta buy Rad, but I'm not gonna play it while I pray.
Okay. All right, I'll start off, Gavin.